that tune. Wait. Are we live? Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jim and Rob Overanalyze Movies, the live video podcast for people who love to talk about movies as much as they love watching them. Tonight, join us tonight as my good friend Jim Cheboyko and I overanalyze yet another sequel, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now we're throwing in Jim, we're now throwing in what do we got? We've got a colon, we've got a dash, we've got a comma. What other punctuation marks are we missing in titles now?
I think this is a prequel to a sequel conclusion. I don't know what part of the English grammar tree this would be, but if it's the seventh movie, but it's a dyad, so it's the first part of the last dyad. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Mathematical equation. You should just use equations.
That's it. Yeah, we really need, Jim. We need algebra on this one.
Yes, we do.
Before we talk about this flick, I think you had sent me, my friend, you had sent me a tweet. Sorry, not a tweet, a zeet, which I'm like, it sounds like a European's version of zit. Anyway.
Yeah.
Ugh. You had sent me a tweet. I'm going to throw that up on the screen now. Let me get this out of the way. Why don't you give me the short version of what you found interesting about it? And then I do have an editorial comment.
You got it. Well, Mark Harris is a well-regarded writer, nonfiction.
Very well-regarded writer. I think I own one of those books.
Yeah, Pictures at a Revolution, which I started to read, and then I had to get back to the library, and now they don't have the copy, so I've tried to get it out since. I got about 100 pages in. I'm a slow reader.
Recommended to us by our good friend Walt.
Yes, yeah. And it basically covers that time. What year was it? It was the year that Bonnie and Clyde came out.
Yeah.
67. So it's all these changes in in where movies were going as reflected by the Best Picture nominees. So very highly regarded book, and he does very solid biographies as well. Anyway, he's a good follow. He often has little gems, and he's saying that this weekend is very important in terms of movies, maybe not movie history, but short-term movies, in that the two big movies, the Barbenheimer movies, Barbie and Oppenheimer, have come out, have done very well, and neither of them are sequels. And he said that a surprise hit is often better than a big flop, or it's more disruptive than a big flop, further down the tweet chain there. So that's sort of, he's seeing this as well, I'll put words in his mouth. A new wind is blowing, folks, and everything's going to change. No, he wasn't that over the top.
Yeah,
but he's I think he's reacting to it as a historian would. So
yeah,
kind of an interesting take anyway. Good follow.
Yeah. Listen, and I'm not totally against this. I'm not saying he's flat out wrong. Although at the end where he's like referring to Tom Brueggemann as an unimpeachably level-headed box office expert, he says so. I was like, come on, Ed. It's all looking at tea leaves here,
Yeah.
It's like an unimpeachable Wall Street prognosticator. I mean, that said, Jim, here's my beef with this kind of view. I think we need to, and it's not like I haven't taken a look at the macro and looked at, comparing box office to population, ticket inflation, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That said, Jim, I really feel strongly that we first have to kind of start, we do have to a degree, start with the movie. We've had some mediocrities this year. The big money ones, a lot of them were mediocre or just plain flops.
Yeah.
And then you have this one data point, Barbenheimer, and this changes everything. And it's like, I don't know. First of all, and he does examine this in his tweet, he does acknowledge Barbie is about a toy, and that Nolan could be called a brand. And then he kind of blows it off. And it's like, I don't know, just like Transformers, it's a toy. It's a movie about a toy. And Nolan is a brand. He does have a dedicated ticket base that will see his movies. It doesn't matter what it is or what it's about. They're going to go watch. So I don't think these movies are that much of an outlier. What? Nobody's heard of Barbie? Margot Robbie, definitely a draw. But if it was Margot Robbie in a movie where she plays a doll who comes to real life, a la Mannequin from the 80s, maybe not. Okay, maybe not that thing. Wait, we would not be taught, like, it would not get the money, not get the same pop culture vibe.
Yeah.
It's Barbie. I would argue, though, what we're really seeing here, for this weekend at least, is we've had some mediocrities. You and I have seen some of them where both were saying, well, it's a soft see it. But if you see it at home, who cares? It's not that big a deal. Whereas these two, it's like, there's a bit of pent-up demand, and they're putting it on this. They're either betting on red or black, or a lot of people betting on both, which has created an interesting pop culture water cooler moment. But to call this one weekend a sign of things to come, it's like, I want to wait a year. I don't. I mean, other than, hey, you know what? If you make good movies that are kind of interesting and not quite what we've seen before, that will get people to see the movie. Well, that was new. Why am I not an unimpeachable prognosticator of success, Jim? Anyway, that was my, I can't say, maybe not a beef, but a cautionary note. What do you think?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. It's a pretty shallow business, and it's a pretty shallow business model a lot of the times. Things aren't given the chance to really succeed. Well, I'm thinking TV, but for movies, it's that stupid opening weekend. And there are a dedicated group of people that will go to opening weekend movies. But a lot of people just say, I'm going to wait a couple weeks and see it when on a Monday or something like that. But Hollywood's really invested in that opening weekend to the point, and these are for the folks not from Canada, where there'll be actual initiatives to get people to see a Canadian movie released in the theater on the opening weekend to show them that a Canadian movie can succeed, and we can finally boot Porky's off the #1 Canadian movie box office of all time. But so I it's that opening weekend thing, and I think that's sort of what he's referring to. Also, I think there's a little aspect of it that these are sort of products of, even though there's a connection, one to history and one to a corporate toy, is that they're products, they're sort of visionary products, the products of a thinking person's director, and a bit of a swing for the fences. Maybe I haven't seen either yet. My son actually did the Barbenheimer thing on Friday, I believe.
I want to do it tomorrow night.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, anyway, sorry, but your son.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie.
So he did it. He enjoyed the experience. He had to eat dinner in the theater, which he wasn't too impressed by, but to fit both in. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, if you're only going by opening weekend, have at it. But yeah, I think you're telling a truth there as well. That these things, let's watch this all out. And of course, this is all under the cloud of the current strike. It shows no signs of abating at any time soon. So. Yeah, we'll see. That's going to start eating into next year's movie releases as well. Yeah. So,
speaking of strike, of course, actually, I got a couple of things on this, Jim. So I didn't have my digital proof set up. I will have it for next weekend. I did. I canceled my subscription to Disney Plus. And I contributed that money to the entertainment support fund, for all intents and purposes, the strike fund right now.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's now that SAG-AFTRA, I'm like, maybe I can take a month off of 2. So maybe I'll for next month, I'll keep off Disney Plus. And I was going to get rid of Crave, HBO, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
But HBO's don't leave. What normally would cost me $20 plus tax, they're like, for 3 months, $5 plus tax. I'm like, okay, I'll take that deal. And then those savings, that I will contribute to. So my next bill, I will do that. And I'm going to take a month off for each union. I'll take a month off of a subscription service until we're out. I think for the SAG-AFTRA, I'll just the savings from Crave, I will apply to that every month.
Yeah.
And next month, I may, like I'll probably re-sign up to Disney Plus, but I may ditch or take a month, not ditch, take a month off of Netflix or maybe Prime. Anyway. That's all to lead up to the fact that I editorialized on DMG, our good friend, Dragon Movie Guy.
Yeah.
Our wonderful friend, Dragon Movie Guy.
Yes.
He did a SAG-AFTRA Strike Breakdown. And we had an awesome conversation. I know he's going to try and tighten it up because we went for 2.5 hours.
Oh.
Had a wonderful wide-ranging conversation, not just about, and I'll pin a link to the video, the live show in the description. But Jim, we didn't just have a great conversation about the strike. We had a great conversation about AI and even just the way things are produced, which I think ties into Mr. Harris's kind of tweet thread. Sorry, zit thread. I actually signed up for Threads today because I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore.
You know what the web address is for the former Twitter? Twitter.com. It's not x.com.
Oh, yeah, because he's X forwards to Twitter. I'm sure it'll change. Like, whatever. No. Anyway, this is one thing. Mr. Harris, I don't think he quite captured in his thread was it's like, making a good movie's hard. You've got to know what you're doing. And we can see when perhaps the studio's too involved that you make mediocre product that people aren't necessarily interested in seeing.
Yeah.
Maybe those writers contribute some value.
There was one guy on Twitter the other day, X, and he just said, I think their writers are asking too much. What do they do anyway? And people just screamed famous movie lines back at him by the thousand. So.
I am so, it's always a bummer when these things come up because there's always somebody, I have to work hard for my money. Why do they get that? It's like, buddy, maybe you should get paid more. What I work hard for nothing. Everyone should suffer like me. What do you want?
Yeah.
sorry, but what are you?
I had to pay my non-predatory student loans back. You should have to pay all your predatory current day student loans back yourself. Yeah.
No matter what it does to the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, another thing, Jim, we have a new fan.
We do.
We do. Folks, we're very fortunate. Somebody else who liked her vlog is Be Your Own Hero. She wrote a great review, far more concise than we are. A little teaser on no hard feelings, and nice tight little one. She interacted with us on Twitter, and well, let's zip to the bottom here.
Did she give us any credit, Rob?
We may have been mentioned.
We may have.
What did,
she didn't base any of what she said.
We're a citation.
We're a citation. Yes.
And look at this, Jim. For an insightful and entertaining take on this movie, I recommend the YouTube video Jim and Rob overanalyze No Hard Feelings. There's a link in everything. And then she says, yes, a little on the long side, but watch it at 1 1/4 speed and you'll be fine. Winky. Definitely wait until you've seen the movie, though. There are spoilers. Yes, there are. Anyway, I will, along with DMG's video, I will put a link to her. She did a great review. Really kind of sums up the movie well, had her own interesting insights. There's certainly a lot of overlap with our thinking and hers. But definitely we're taking that little bit of a different angle, especially from a woman writer who, you know, is interpreting some of this stuff from her own experience and perspective. And so definitely worth reading.
And when I say give us credit, not that she, you know, took anything from what she said, we said, she just cited us if you want another viewpoint. So just to make that clear, so we're not alienating a potential new follower immediately.
Well, I think you managed that before, so
probably.
Good one, Jim. Where's our credit? We talked about the same stuff.
Same movie.
We're like, a bit of, before we get into the movie, that reminds me of a bit of a tempest in a tweet, in a post, nonsense between the Legal Eagle, a big lawyer, explainer video guy, and this other, what is she? She does kind of, goes after cult stuff and that kind of scam artist. Anyway, I guess she went after, took great umbrage on how Legal Eagle was stealing something her editors apparently invented, which was the idea of highlighting on the screen with the paper effect.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Jeez. So that's the category of where's our credit.
Maybe, yeah.
The Venn diagram there is 0. Two circles on top of each other.
Maybe the social media thing. Maybe humans shouldn't interact that much. Maybe we should. What do they say? You just, keep it to 25 people in your circle? I don't know. But anyway.
Who knows, eh?
Yeah.
All right, Jim. I think it is. You know what, Jim? I think it's time. Time to get into this flick. That's right, everybody. We're here to talk about a movie, the flick at hand.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Mission Impossible 7. Courtesy of IMDb, here's the log line. A different one than one I read the other night, but shorter, to the point. kind of boring. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team must track down a dangerous weapon before it falls into the wrong hands. Jim, tell us who's who in this fresh take on Avengers Age of Ultron.
Well, we got Christopher McQuarrie again directing. He wrote it with Eric Jendresen, starring Tom Cruise, of course, Haley Atwell, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Rebecca Ferguson, a lot of the people that have been there before. Vanessa Kirby, who's actually making a name for herself lately. Asai Morales, Palm Clementieff, Quebec City's own Palm Clementieff, and Henry Cherney, also a Canadian actor. So yeah, good cast in this. There we go.
Jim.
Yes.
Let me ask you.
Sorry.
Actually, you know what? I think what we need to do is let's just jump into the spoiler zone right away.
Sure, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because
into the spoiler zone.
That will help.
It will indeed. It will indeed. Let me ask you this. We both agreed, and I'll put a link somewhere to our See It or Skip It review. Both gave it a soft see it. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But was I totally off in my, was maybe a little snarky, I gotta admit, I'm like, who asked for this? Who asked? Who, Jim? Who asked for this? For this movie? Like, is there a point to it? You can kind of see James Bond, like the first movie really was a spy movie. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of wondering if, like, what is this? What's the point of it? What's the why? And I don't mean the meaning necessarily, like the themes and that, but what's the why of this movie anymore?
What's the hook, maybe? Or is it as simple as that?
Who does it serve? What is, like...
Yeah. Well, you know, it's... I didn't do sort of research into the previous 19 movies or whatever they were to see when they were released. I would say that, and I was thinking about this earlier today, was that I wonder if it's possible to underappreciate the role of the summer movie. Because for me, looking back, and for a lot of people, you know, we're sort of, you know, old and cynical and that, well, we're not too bad. But the looking back, some of the best experiences that I had as a kid were watching summer movies, right? And that sort of informs how you watch movies a little bit anyway, I think, as your life progresses. But it's that thing, out of school, let's see what's coming out. And you used to have those big 2-page things, right? I think it's just part of the tradition of a summer movie, the excitement, the adventure. That's sort of the long lens. In terms of who asked for this, I'm not so sure that sequels are the most natural way to tell a story. I mean, it's almost like the place where television and movies meet. And that's not to say there weren't serials back in the day, in the 30s and the 40s.
But you could almost say that they just moved to television.
It was a precursor to the, the limited series, the 6-episode, 12-episode, or the 23-episode year that they'd been doing for forever down in the States. So, I mean, who asked for this particular one? I don't know a lot of people that we really need a part 7 to clear things up. But I think there's a hunger for this kind of spectacle movie, as evidenced by the fact that a lot of people have gone to see it, right?
To give it maybe some phase, whatever, before Endgame, there seemed of Marvel's Endgame, there was a direction that everything was headed towards. And I don't think, notwithstanding some great overreading of, oh, this is because he's a Scientologist and therefore these themes in this way, and this is how he, fits his worldview and everything. And I'm like, bit of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe this is a way to end this series. To have a two-parter, which we've seen in other franchises, but to kind of go, yeah, do you want to just keep doing Mission Impossible adventures? Or do you want to kind of go, no, we want to go out where Tom Cruise is getting older. He can't keep doing these stunts. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's time to end it with a bang. Maybe Mission Impossible as a franchise will continue. In many respects, and folks, we are in the spoiler zone. In many respects, this is how to put it, Jim, a bit of an origin story for a new character, Haley Atwell's character, and sort of is also examining other characters, how they got started. So, and we did see a character who ended, I think. I'm pretty confident. So, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe the why of this film is it's like, got to wrap up Ethan Hunt. Maybe all of Mission Impossible, but definitely Ethan Hunt. Whether he gets a Captain America retirement or a Daniel Craig James Bond death, that it's coming to a close.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it could... to know that, you'd have to sort of know their plans beyond number 8. Like, will there be a number 9?
Well, I'm sure if they can make money off of it, there's going to be a number 9. But for Tom Cruise, the filmmaker, maybe he's like, well, whatever happens, I'll keep producing. He may still keep making money off of it, but that it's, maybe this is, okay, I got to wrap this part up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was going to bring this out. This is my prop. It was the Globe and Mail.
Shows your prop, Jim.
Yes, I want to.
Let's give you the whole
Globe and Mail
screen.
last weekend. It was the arts and books section. Safe to say that the books weren't so much covered in this one. 4 broadsheet pages within, including the full cover. The Last Action Hero, it says. And the big article comes to the conclusion. Well, I think the last line is Tom Cruise is dead, long live Tom Cruise, or something to that effect. But basically saying that he's probably not going to be doing these Magnolia type roles anymore now that he's had a couple summers of Top Gun last year and this one this year.
Yeah.
But where do you go from here? Like, he's in his 60s now, and he broke his ankle pretty badly, apparently, in this one. So, you have to, it's kind of, to know their, I don't know their plan going forward. I don't know about anything about movies in the next couple of years, frankly. So, but yeah, it's a curious one. And, our last 2 summers have been Tom Cruise. Say he doesn't make a movie next summer, or or the next couple summers, who's going to who's going to be the big staple then?
Yeah.
Who are they looking to? So that's kind of an interesting. That's a side.
Dwayne Johnson, if he hadn't made that.
Yeah.
Suck Wind, Black Adam.
Oh yes, yeah. I was thinking, what was?
Yeah, you've already forgotten about it.
Yeah. So, it'd be it's interesting to see who's going to carry the water for Hollywood. Who's going to save Hollywood? Oh, maybe that'll be
that Hollywood never.
Maybe that'll be the final Mission Impossible. Save Hollywood. It's a virus that's infecting producers and.
Well, the paying public who goes, I'll wait for that to come out on my television.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's get to the movie, because in a way, that's a great answer, Jim. Because I guess my question is, not so much theme as more narrative,
Yeah.
and maybe the business, the franchise, not the series, but the franchise. Although I like the way you talk about as a television thing, because eventually the creators get tired of it. You know, they gotta go, okay, we gotta wrap this up. You know, we've had some great times with these characters. And while we can allow the universe to continue, like the story universe to continue after the final final episode of whether it be Game of Thrones, terrible, The Good Place, one of my favorites, where it's like, the world continues, but you're not going back, you know? Yeah. Okay, let's get into the actual movie here. And for those who haven't seen it, here's one of the many spoilers we'll talk about. There was a main character death. Ilsa Faust, played by Rebecca Ferguson. I got a couple questions about this. One is, do you think she's going to... I don't know about you, Jim. I can't see how she's still alive.
Yeah. I mean, unless we're told that she's dead. I can't remember if they do
as
the
he's weeping over. He's weeping over her dead body. Well, everyone else is, oh, I'm so sorry, and I can't believe she's gone. Like, it's...
But
this isn't run in a house, explosion. She's got to be a goner. You know?
Yeah, and we're given another one of those later in the movie with with the Paris character. We're like, I have a pulse, which seems to me not even mentioned in the Wikipedia synopsis, by the way. But I suspect this Paris character will be back because that's a very significant line for the end of the movie.
Exactly. Oh wait, we got to do something. I do. I agree. I think Pom Clementieff's Paris character is coming back. They've given us enough there that you and I, let's say in part 2, because of course we're going to go see it. We're not going to go, what? But I think narratively, if Rebecca Ferguson's, if Ilsa Faust's character comes back and be, well, what the... I have a hard time imagining a justifiable, a good why on that one. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, and this is a movie that I think the confidence with which they create the movie, that they present it, you can get away with the Scooby-Doo-ness of it all, with the sort of the mask and that kind of thing, which normally, like, if
die.
They do die.
They die and they stay dead.
If
this isn't
in this particular one,
Well, in this series they do. They die, they stay dead.
Yeah. I mean,
it was only Hunt's
if they want them back hard enough that they'll find some way to do it. But if I want it hard enough, I'll just say no. He's bulletproof, and like coming back to, does it narratively make sense within the let's say the storytelling rules of Mission Impossible? Yeah.
Again, if she went in a building, didn't come out, explosion,
yeah.
There's because that's something they've done in Mission Impossible before. Though the wife, Ethan Hunt's wife, was dead, but not really. But we never saw her die. And even then there were stakes. He had to leave her.
Yeah.
Like, she's gone out of his life. Like, I mean, for a spy movie, there's a lot more legitimate emotional stakes for a spy movie series, let's say.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess you'd be breaking some sort of construct that you've, some kind of, tacit understanding with the audience if you were suddenly going to play around with things like that. I think back to something like Doctor Who that finds reasons to bring people back, and it they make it make sense, with time travel and multiple universes and stuff, and they do a good job of it. But
but that's where well, are we in a superhero movie now?
No, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's I would argue. Well, it's almost like a 1980s.
Are we in a
super
superhero movie?
Man. No, not technically, but
well, are we or aren't we? Not technically. Yeah. Well, that's all we really have, right?
Yeah.
Is there a multiverse? Do we have magical powers?
No. Not yet.
It's like
maybe the entity's got something up its non-existent sleeves, but
well, and I think that's where it's like, well, if that is, and sure, they could do whatever they want. It's their goddamn movie. They could put that in. But that's one of those things where it's like, well, why are we doing? Okay, well, I get to detest it because that's dumb given what you've promised me with the previous 7 movies. And this isn't a twist. This is a rug pull.
Yeah.
And I think that would be that. It's not one of the neat cons that they'll sometimes play with the audience, like a heist. That's a rug pull. That's I know we told you this, but we lied.
Yeah.
Who's the dummy?
Yeah.
We're looking at you, audience. And I'm like,
and I think that would sort of upset the balance too in terms of introducing this Haley Atwell character of Grace. I think that she was brought in specifically to I don't know if replace is the right word, but it was convenient that she was there and Ilsa wasn't anymore. So
and you could kind of wonder, it's like, have they just run out of gas with that character?
Yeah, that's true.
Because she is one of those ones where it's like, where are you going with her?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to be husband and wife spies? Or
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah. Which leads me to another question. They certainly set up romantic tension with her and Ethan Hunt, with her character and Ethan Hunt. Did you buy it?
This is Grace you're talking about? With Grace and Ethan Hunt?
No.
Yeah. Oh, Ilsa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they said any. I don't think there's any of that.
No.
I don't think they were going there.
No.
With the excuse me, terrible belch, with the Grace character. But we got it in this movie, Ilsa and him.
I think
did you buy it?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's some, they sort of, I get the impression they sort of disappear in and out of each other's lives, but there's an element of devotion, I think, there. That there's an urgency and a devotion, which are kind of a couple of the ingredients of love. So whether it's an actual kind of a thing that they could have built on, I don't know, but there's elements of it there, I would say.
Well, and I think that's one of the storytelling problems this movie has. One of the reasons why it's a soft skip it or a soft see it for me in our non-spoiler review is that wasn't built. That you kill off Simon Pegg's character Rusty. He dies and Ethan gets emotional, you're going to buy that.
Yeah.
You're going to go, ugh, that hits. Whereas these two, I don't think they built enough of a friendship, a relationship, where you're like, it's almost like in this film, they had to, we've got to have this because we're going to kill her. We've made that call already. And Ethan's got to be bothered by it because it drives the second half of the movie, revenge. Yeah. And will he be vengeful? Potentially upend the narrative, upend the mission.
Yes, yeah.
And so all of a sudden we get that stuff in this movie where I'm like, and that's, I didn't buy it. I mean, I didn't buy it because I'm like, it didn't feel set up organically. I didn't feel like it was earned, his emotional, especially when she's not even really part of the team. She's kind of this freelancer who comes in and out. And it's like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, his reaction to it allows him to say things that you see on the trailer, like, you know, is the mission more important than our lives? And, you know, like, I won't stop until I, you know, get you, and I will, you know, I'll let you.
Your lives are all more important than mine. I mean, I keep living and you keep dying, but hey.
But there's several things, and they emphasize that in the 2-minute trailer. There's about 3 lines that are about this, like, not so much that Fast and Furious, we are family business, but it's more like, you know, this is a team. We live and die as a team. And so, yeah, there's an element of devotion there as well, I think. And a lot of urgent running and things like that. Of course.
I mean, all the classics, right?
Yeah. So, and it allows, you know, him to display these emotions, which he shows to Grace, which suggests that she would be in good, like, joining them would not be a bad option.
Yeah.
So that's that sort of introduction of the new world to the new characters. So.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, I get the mechanics, the plot requirements, let's say, but I don't, my butt there is I just never felt it. Not really well. Like, I mean, if they killed the character without that, it would have bothered me because you're kind of used to this character. She is an interesting character. How did you put it? Formidable.
Yes. Yeah.
And maybe that's the other reason why I didn't buy it. And this is my handoff to you. Not only is she a formidable woman, Haley Atwell's Grace is a formidable woman, and yet there's 50-year-old S.I. Morales. How did you put it, Jim?
So this is my, you know, Esai Morales is the bad guy. He's Gabriel, and he's sort of an agent for the entity, which our favorite, one of our favorite Twitter users, Vinny Mancuso, he called this movie "Mission Impossible: Age of Ultron." I don't know if you saw that. I forwarded.
Well, that's why I stole the reference in my intro.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Jim, fresh. This is a fresh take on Age of Ultron. Sorry, back to you.
So big chase in Venice. Ilsa encounters Gabriel on one of those fancy Venetian bridges, and they have a big fight. And we're told all along, and we're shown, that Ilsa is formidable.
It's Grace. Grace is the first fight.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah.
Remember, because it's all about getting the key.
Yes, that's right, too.
Right.
So he, at some point, anyway, he beats he faces off both of them on this bridge, knocks one down, she rolls down the bridge, knocks the other down, she rolls down the bridge. Well, these are formidable women. They know how to handle themselves.
He gets into a fight with Grace. That's one's done. And he's about to, all right, now I'm going to finish you.
Yeah.
Then Ilsa shows up.
And then they have a throwdown. And so we're led to believe that these women can handle themselves in a fight, and they can't get a lick on this salt and peppery bad agent daddy. They can't get, and this is like the fireworks factory. He's wearing a white tux, and they're fighting with knives, and you'd think, just give us one little bit of blood. Just give us a slash on the arm. Doesn't have to be fatal. Just mark that white tuxedo with blood
on
something.
Then he's like, really?
It's you know, visually, how could you resist? I mean, I'm sure the cinematographer had some pretty big words for McQuarrie there. you know, let's throw some red into this scene. Nothing. And I was actually thinking back and trying to think, was there, almost like early Star Wars movies, was there any blood at all in this movie? For a lot of people that are doing blade, iron bar, and hand-to-hand, you know, you get the bloodless neck snap, everything else. I don't think anybody bleeds in this movie, but that's a whole.
I think you're
there's
right.
more blood on The Simpsons than there is in Mission Impossible. I'm not kidding.
Speaking
but
of
anyway,
factories.
so you have this, you have this big white tux, unmarked. He escapes unscathed, and these two formidable women are lying kind of, prone on the ground. The other one is Paris, who's played by Pom Klementieff. Not only is she, she takes out a lot of these stuntman / actors, which is fine. All these red shirts that sort of like make fun of her and stuff.
And
she snaps their necks.
She does kick Ethan's ass a little.
A little, yeah. But both Ethan and Isa Morales are allowed to own her at some point, or beat her down, or something to that effect. So, a little bit frustrating.
And I wanted to ask you about that, because it's
one hit.
It's something, and that is
Scar'em.
This is one of the tough things about this. I think you and I were, if memory serves, Jim, when we first got out of the theater, it even bothered us on, wow, there's a lot of women getting stabbed in this movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe it's still icky, right? Like you still kind of, Ethan doesn't get stabbed. S.I. Morales. Is it S.I. or it's Isai, right?
Isai, maybe, yeah.
Anyway, he barely gets touched in the entire movie. Until the very end and only the lightest of cuts, by Ethan Hunt. But at the same time, it is all the women are formidable.
Yeah.
Only one dies.
Nobody falls down.
It is a bit of it's still, I stand by what I said in the thing. It's like, this is a girlfriend in the fridge giving the main character a reason to want vengeance. But they are still characters that seem to have their own stuff going on, their own things happening. Even Pom Clementieff's character, Paris' character, if it was a normal Bond kind of one, maybe she does one for the hero because she's fallen in love with him, but she's always, in a Bond flick, always punished for that. She's a goner. Whereas here, it isn't that she's fallen for him, but there's something else more human and complicated going on there. And we're kind of a hint at, we're going to get to know more about her, because she's kind of a crazy bonkers character.
Yeah.
And to see her in a turn, although I don't think that was not handled as well as it could have, but still, I'm kind of like it's a weird one, because if it was in any other franchise, it'd be, wow, it's a lot of cleavage and tight pants and and we're not quite, even Vanessa Kirby's character, what the hell?
White Widow?
I don't know, some code, the White Widow or whatever sorry, whatever. She's still like got stuff to do and has stuff going on, and also isn't murdered.
Yeah.
Alana
Mitsopoulos.
Of course. Yeah.
That's good. Is that Greek? Is that a Greek accent I sense, or just English? I don't know.
All right. Well, Jim, let me so it's like one of those weird ones where it's like, okay, I can complain about these things, but at the same time, all formidable, and in an action-oriented film, in a combat-oriented film, it isn't Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg doesn't magically become a jiu-jitsu master. It's these women who are
that's a good point, actually.
Physically active and smart and so it's like it's a weird one, right? Like, I mean, what do you think? Like, or am I?
Yeah, no, it is. A couple of things is that Isai Morales manages to stab two women with the same crappy set of knives they find in a club, which suddenly becomes his signature weapon. And he gets them both sort of in the chestal region. I know chestal's not a really term, but
the torso.
He got thank you. Gets Rebecca Ilsa Faust, and then he gets Paris, both in the same way.
Right here. Here.
And is it the equivalent of a shoulder shot? In somebody getting shot with a gun in the shoulder, but so there's that. But they're interesting characters, and they can hold their own. I just sort of wish they had been able to get a couple licks on them, and if only to make it interesting. Again, some of these choices, it's not so much a political thing even or whatever, but it's just like, how can this movie make the most interesting choices? And having a guy, and that again, I got to come up with a bit of an essay on making the proper antagonist, because if you make them too strong, then it just sort of gets eye rolly. And he's almost on, and that's why I sort of stumbled on your question about superheroes earlier. And I know they're not technically superheroes, maybe a little bit of metaphor, but they are two men, Ethan Hunt and Gabriel, and they both seem to have the same kind of facility for doing anything, jumping off trains and mountains and fighting close combat and shooting and that kind of thing. And
men.
They're almost like the Black Knight and the White Knight, and they match up almost, or the Black Spy and the White Spy if you're a Mad magazine. Maybe not that comically bad, but they match each other, right? And they both seem to be equally as competent with virtually no weaknesses. And that's sort of the interesting thing. How do you enter? You got to give each character a little bit of a crack, right? Or a little bit of a vulnerability, right? So, and Gabriel appears to have none at this point, other than not realizing that he's being pickpocketed. So,
we're not talking about these guys.
That's exactly. That's it. That's the original. These are the storyboards for Mission Impossible 3. Now that should be Tom Cruise's next movie, Spy versus Spy.
Spy versus Spy. I think there was talk about it. Like, there has been little animated snippets. There's a video game. Just
what?
Yeah. Where do you go with it? Oh, there was actually like maybe not a full half-hour TV show, but there was like an animated. I don't know. It was Teletoon. Nickelodeon, whatever.
It might have been cribbed from Mad TV that used to do bumpers, like going into and out of commercials, and they used to have bumpers, Spy versus Spy bumpers. So
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Jim. Before we are getting we've been at it for a while on this one.
Yeah.
But I do got a couple more questions. And
sure.
What do you think of, I guess, if it has a main theme or a main threat, it is this idea of, the entity, an AI, an automated thing that can, create and recreate our world. As a matter of fact, it reminded me of, and I'll look it up here, I believe it's called Anon. Yes, Anon. It was Amanda Seyfried, Clive Owen, little indie sci-fi. Colm Feore is in it in a great supporting role.
Yeah, he's great.
Anyway, It's actually a cool little flick, you know. Andrew Niccol was the director. Anyway, Jim, both kind of play with this idea of that maybe we're all it's like we have the Black Mirror. What are we, you know, and how much is our mediated experience could be threatened by the algorithm behind it on what it shows us and everything. Do you think this movie, I mean, other than just kind of exploiting that fear, exploiting a thing that we're talking about, especially in the conversation about AI, do you think it had anything to actually say about it other than people are frightened of this, so it'll be a good villain?
Yeah.
At least so far. Who knows? In part 2, they could flip the script and it could really be kind of, oh, that's good, you know?
They've really just introduced the concept, and whether or not they fully intend to sort of use it to get sort of more articulate about it, I think we'll have to wait till the second half. Because there was one segment where they show how the AI is used for nefarious purposes, and that's when it imitates the Rusty, the Simon Pegg character's voice, and is giving Tom Cruise the wrong instructions. And that was actually kind of chilling. That was, I thought, a very effective. Very effective. Like, show it, you know, you say AI, it's all a bit of abstract. Oh, it'll conflict, it'll, you know, disinformation, that sort of thing. But they have a real world, real time example of how it affected, you know, the Mission Impossible crew. So I thought that was very effective. Whether or not they use it, you know, they get deeper into it more thematically or not, I think we'll have to see. Be like, you know, it could be just like a killer bees or you know, some concept like that where they don't fully fully sort of get farther into it. But it could just be
So, but that said, like what we're describing so far is really just a great plot device, what potentially could be a great villain, because it ain't Isai Morales' Gabriel. It's just, what did you put it? The face of the entity, let's say. The face is, how do you put it? Smug?
Well, there's a couple of scenes where there's about 3 people being against each other. They're all being smug at the same time. I'm like, you guys, not everybody gets to be smug at the same time.
And especially so mustache twirling and smug. But maybe we'll have it's certainly a neat plot device. It could be a neat villain. Although I recommend folks see Anon. I think in some ways it's a lot more effective. It kind of gets into the true sci-fi elements of this idea of our mediated experience, you know?
That's a good one. I don't think you'd ever mentioned that before. But I should add that you had a really interesting, I don't know if you want to unveil it now or not, but you had a really interesting theory as to what the entity might be up to leading into the second movie. So I don't know if you want to, I mean, I just thought, oh, that would actually be really cool if that was the case.
I've alluded to, because it's like right now it's this, but in the second movie, what if? So what the hell? We're in the spoiler zone, folks. And folks, you know what? Hey, tune out for like a minute. Jump ahead for a minute. I'll even put like Rob's super theory. This is my theory. And then after that, we'll jump into final thoughts. So there'll be a chapter marker. Here's it could be a really cool thing, is what if the entity wants to be found, wants to be destroyed, and that all of this is to get the only one who can, the Mission Impossible force. Because Ethan Hunt, in this movie, we're set up to go, everybody wants it, but there's only one team pure enough to go, we don't want it for ourselves. We don't want it for power. We want it to make sure that no one gets it.
Yeah.
And that, a la computer and war games, because nothing's new, the idea that it's like, oh, wait a second, I'm a terrible thing that, cannot be, it can't exist. Yeah. And, so it's the thing that actually sinks itself, because, of course, it's in a Russian sub. We'll get to that in a second. In a Russian sub. I'll save that for my final thoughts. It makes sure, first of all, that it gets out of the hands of the Russians. Not exactly a great player, a moral player. And maybe knowing itself is like, oh yeah, I got to be destroyed. Who in my entity, maybe not omniscience, omniscient understanding of everyone. Oh, Ethan Hunt, he understands, and he's pure.
Yes.
He will come after me and do what is right, destroy me.
Yeah, super interesting. I thought it was a good theory, but
and that would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be a nice Dead Reckoning Part 2, because otherwise it's just Gabriel.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe even then the Gabriel's like, but I don't understand. I thought we were going to be, and maybe the entity gets to be a smartass before they. It's like, you're an idiot. The only reason I picked you to be my thing is that, I knew Ethan would fucking get your number. Although it got a little sketchy on the top of that.
Choo-choo.
The choo-choo.
Mm-hmm.
I really did think Grace there was going to buy it, because why would you care about her? You met her 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's the summer of the train top fight there. So I think every movie should legally be required, including Barbie having a big knife fight on top of a train. But and Oppenheimer. Our car broke down. How are we going to get to New Mexico? We have to take the train. Not the train.
The hobos.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
You took my stew.
Jim, I think it's time for final thoughts.
Well,
with your permission, I'm gonna start on this one. I do want to talk about a couple of things that I really were almost hilariously hard to believe. Yes, the movie, as you remember, opens with a Russian submarine under the ice pack. Of course, bad luck for Mission Impossible in that the Titan had recently imploded. Even then, what have we learned over the last several years is, the Russian military, the Russians are great at trolling, at low-tech trolling, but they're not the technical geniuses that they were made out to be in Roger Moore James Bond.
Yeah.
This we know.
Yeah.
We know the biggest threat of their nuclear submarines is to the crews who staffed them. And the environment that they eventually sink in. This is not...
This software is safe upon the Kursk 2.
Who knows? Maybe even the entities foresaw that their demise. It's like, you know what? I'm going to do you all a favor because you're all going to die of radiation sickness. Why don't we'll do it quick?
Yeah.
Because I just can't watch you all die that miserable death.
Yeah.
I just want to see the entity get turned into a box that Ethan Hunt carries around in his later life solving crimes in, small town. like a Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah. Matlock.
A weird kind of monk, you know.
Mission She Wrote. Mission He Wrote. I don't know.
Anyway, I thought that was a little rough, and
yeah, good point.
You know, what else? The first act has these weird moments where I'm like, okay, so she goes out in the desert to the only dust-ridden, like, it's just, you know, they like unbelievable locations and unbelievable circumstances. And it's like, wow, looking back, it's like, whoa, you're really testing my suspension of disbelief. Yeah. Like you're working it hard, you know?
I don't know, Rob, having Tom Cruise tell his horse to duck behind a sand dune. They're both doing this. All right, I'll give you some more hay if you just stay still. I don't know.
The last thing was, and maybe this is one of the reasons it explains why we were kind of, soft see it. Did this movie have any real core human theme other than you're all more important to me, except the mission? Or like, you know, what is the theme of the film?
Learn how to drive a stick shift. Yeah, not much. I mean, it's so busy. It's very, mission oriented. It's very plot heavy. There's a lot of things to do and a lot of people to go see. I don't know if there's a lot of room for, other than, the sort of fealty and things like that. Who do you trust?
I think some of it does. Like, I mean, there is, but if it's almost like maybe not unintentional, but if they really thought about it, it's like, wow, that's some Old Testament kind of, you will pay forever. You're never free. You did something so wrong
I gave
that
it a bit
you
of short
are
shrift.
Forever indentured. Mm-hmm. You are now must serve the community forever. And it's like, I mean, Haley Atwell's character, she's a thief.
She's an orphan.
Do your time, move on with your life. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Shawshank.
Oh my gosh. No kidding.
Holy cow. Shawshank.
Wow. When did this? I didn't.
Great to see you here, man.
Yeah, no kidding. That's awesome. I was just, thinking about Shawshank the other day. I can't remember in relation to what, but.
So you can't. If only I could, like, blow them up. But
I have a question for Shawshank. Did the train scene in Mission Impossible 7 remind you of the train scene in Patan?
Patan. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So he's exactly the person that I wanted to. Maybe that's why I was thinking about him.
That's great.
Yeah. Pretty.
Yeah. Well, he does. He's got a couple of questions for us, Jim.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. He thinks it's a big step down from Fallout. He feels Mission Impossible Fallout is where the franchise peaked. That was its peak. And then I guess he thought it was fun, but a tad long. He's asking us, though, where the film would fall. If we were to rank all 7 to date, where does it fall? He's got it at number 4, so right in the middle.
Well, as we discussed on our short review, I've been a bad movie goer in terms of Mission Impossible because this is the second one I've seen. The other one I've seen I refer to as the one with Tandy Newton. So that's
oh my goodness, the notorious knockoff.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I'm not the person to ask about this. I think you would know. You've seen all 7 of them, haven't
I
you?
have, as a matter of fact. Shashank adds,
I'm working on it.
that he
I'll
feels
get working on it.
both are ripped off of Uncharted.
Yeah.
Shashank, for myself, ooh, I was not a fan of number 2, the one with Tandy Newton, but that was because I was so impressed with number 1. Like Brian De Palma really kind of had a nice Cold War vibe, but really the enemy's within, and like, yeah, Mission Impossible 1's worth a rewatch, folks. I want to say, was it Rogue Nation? I think was my favorite for just sheer summertime fun, like you would describe it, Jim. Yeah, maybe it was Rogue Nation. Could have been Fallout. They kind of mushed together. This definitely, as Shashank, both Jim and I gave it a soft skip it, or a soft see it. Sorry, we said a soft see it. And so I think middle of the pack is a fair ranking. I wouldn't fight you on that one.
Yeah.
Number 1 for him is second favorite on his list.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm currently preparing for a trip to New York, so I'm just watching New York movies. So I'll catch up on the rest of them in the fall, I think. But
Jim, anything you want to add?
There was one thing, and I have a quick question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a quick question for you. So even before the sub, just one, even before the sub scene, this starts, and you and I had just gotten to the movie theater, and it was Chris McQuarrie and Tom Cruise sitting on a couch,
the only people in the theater.
Yeah, we were in the second theater, and it was the very opening, like the Thursday night. But they were looking right out at us and saying, "Hey guys, you've chosen to come to Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Great, enjoy the movie. We had a lot of fun." So there was that direct message
out of the 50s and 60s
to the audience.
You know, where the star, he'd be sitting in the director's chair on a set, and then, oh, hi there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see you there.
Let me just tell you about a picture I just finished wrapping on. It was with my good friend Maureen O'Hara, and
save me a seat at Craft Services. I'll be there in a sec. I just have to talk to my friends.
Anyway.
But it was a little bit like that, and we had actually seen this for Dungeons and Dragons, where they had the entire cast out, if you recall, doing the same thing. Thank you for coming to see this in the theater. Sort of a nod to the 50s and a little bit of a post-COVID thank you. Do these things, do you remember them? Does it matter to you? I think they'll be fascinating historical documents.
Yeah,
for the space moviegoers that'll be watching this in 100 years. But what do you think of these? I think they're kind of sweet. I'm not. I can take them or leave them. I genuinely forget, but I wrote it as a note, and I thought they're kind of an interesting.
That's a great question, Jim. Which kind of goes back to what we first talking about box office and the theatrical experience and that. And I would say, yeah, this is another way they're adding to the theatrical experience. Anything, any little thing they can do to justify the money they're charging us. Now, you and I, this time, we did not do the IMAX thing, but a lot of people did, which is how it gets some of its numbers, which means this film may have been even more mediocre, or like it may have had an even worse opening than the total box office says, as far as, in seats. But yeah, that's a great question. I like it. Will I remember it? No. But I do like that it's kind of a weird throwback to another time, and a time when also Hollywood was feeling stressed, or the motion picture industry was feeling stressed.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. We're apparently we're getting a little bit of a poor connection to YouTube right now. So
Oh no.
we might. But the back to your question, Jim. Where the hell was I going with that? Back to your question, which was about those. Yeah, I like it. I don't think anyone remembers it, but I enjoy it while I'm sitting in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
So why not? You know what? Maybe that'll become a standard thing until we tune it out and we don't think it adds to the theatrical experience. It's no longer a part of the equation. But yeah, that or a commercial from Pepsi, give me that any day, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wait, looks like we're back to regular regular video programming. Might be a little hiccup there. One more thing from Shashank before we wrap her up. Shashank's making a recommendation. We should see Andhadhun. Andhadhun. Indian thriller. You know what? Let's see where this. The heck?
Make a note.
What is this? Andhadhun. Oh, it's a crime comedy. Ooh, got almost like a caper vibe. Just a sec here, Mr. Chaboyko.
Translation.
Every artist has a secret. A secret, Jim. Artists having secrets. Yeah, but you know what? We'll put it on the list, Shank. Thank you very, very much.
Sure.
All right, Jim. That not out of the way. That sounds so tacky. But yeah, at the same time, with that out of the way. Anything else you want to add before we actually wrap it up?
I think we covered it all.
Yeah. Well, with that done, thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, we'll some of the links we referred to, we'll either pin them in a comment below, or they'll be somewhere up here. Check out what YouTube thinks you should watch, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. And Shashank, great seeing you, man. Okay, good night, everybody.
Yeah,
good night.